Wow, what a performance. It finishes 1-0 at St Mary's Stadium. We've got no nails left here in the studio,
No, absolutely
Steve.
gone. Biting them at the end there.
But very, very happy people, lots of big smiles on our faces. Dean Hammond and Adam Leitch are back with us to dissect that performance. As much as they tried, City just could not find an equaliser. Dean, we'll come to you first. What did you make of that performance?
Like you say, an amazing performance, so spirited, really disciplined, showed great character, all the players, some really, really top level performances, and just a joy to see that a reaction like that after really the club's safe, but to still put their bodies on the line, to still put a performance in like that, to still play for the club and a manager in that manner when there wasn't much riding on the game. Really, really good. An attacking threat as well. I mean, the defence and the midfield players were excellent, kept a good shape, compact, but a real threat on the break. I mean, we kept winning the ball high up the pitch, which gives the attacking players an option to then break and attack their defence higher, nearer Man City's goal. Obviously, a fantastic goal by Shay Adams. Really pleased for him. And, you know, what a way to get your first goal. I mean, if you're going to get a goal, why not score it like that? So, but no, a really, really good performance, and it's been building. You know, the club and the players have come back so fit and so strong. Whatever, I've said it, I think a few weeks now. Whatever the club did in that break during that period, they deserve credit because the players look sharp, hungry, and put in a fantastic performance. And what a result!
Yeah, as we said, a great performance overall, a really good goal, and a really strong defensive display. But Adam, what pleased you most about today?
Well, I mean, probably the spirit, really. I think, like Dean said, to have gotten to the point where they're basically safe. We spoke before the game. Would they kind of switch off a little bit now? Would they kind of start thinking about, kind of, I say the holidays. I mean, it's not going to be much of a holiday, is it? For 3 weeks, but no. I mean, there was no complacency there at all. Just the way that they put everything on the line. I mean, the number of last ditch, 2 or 3 yard explosive sprints to just, deny a cross or to close City down, to throw your body in the way of the shot time and time and time again. I mean, it was just absolutely remarkable. I think that's probably the spirit is what Ralph will be most pleased with. I mean, there was obviously no lack of discipline in the way they played as well, which is equally impressive and much needed against City, especially when they're playing like that, when they're on top of you so much. You just have to concentrate every second, because if you switch off, if you're a centre half and you switch off for 1 second, the ball's past you and it's in the back of the net. So no drop in concentration mentally, no drop in levels physically. Great hunger, great team spirit. I mean, just an absolutely amazing performance, incredible win. Had all the elements we talked about before the game. If you're going to win this, you've got to be good. You've got to be really disciplined, really committed. You've got to play really well, and you've also got to have a little bit of luck. And Saints had all of those elements today. And yes, okay, perhaps they rode their luck quite a bit, but nonetheless, you're playing Man City, and if you're going to beat Man City, you're going to need that as well. And I think that they can consider themselves good value. I don't think that was a fluky win for Saints, and it is something that has been coming. The way they've played since the restart. So just a fantastic evening. And by the way, on BBC One, I mean, just incredible. Millions and millions and millions of people will have watched that game tonight. And what a showcase for Ralph and what he's doing at Saints and for the football club. Just fantastic.
Yeah, an unbelievable showcase indeed. So that's the initial reaction from our resident guests, Dean Hammond and Adam Leitch. But this is Saints Live. And of course, as always, we want to hear from you, the fans. And I imagine you have quite a lot to say about that win over City. I've already got loads of comments flooding in from you guys watching along at home. Ethan's got in touch and he said best defensive performance this season. Carl Bridge, hello to you. He said best defensive performance for a long, long time, and a Shea wonder goal. Can't ask for any more. You certainly can't, Carl. Chris Taylor's also got in touch with us. He's watching on YouTube. He says, what a win. So happy for Shea Adams as well. Has to be a great goal for his first. Roll on, many, many more. Anthony Evans has also got in touch with us. He said, absolutely incredible. Never thought in a million years that would happen. Ralph, an absolute genius tonight. We'll come on to Ralph in just a moment. Simply FM on YouTube has said, get in, boys. That was an immense result, wasn't it just? Richard Cole on Facebook has said, fantastic, great team effort. You know you can beat anyone if you put the effort in. Well done. Yes, City are not an easy side to win against. Kim Hall on Facebook has said, absolutely amazing performance. Every single player gave it everything they have. Very happy household here. Yeah, I imagine there's several happy households across the South Coast tonight. Dean, Adam, coming back to you both, do you think that's one of Ralph's finest performances? Dean, we'll come to you first.
I think it has to be. I think just in the manner of the victory as well. It wasn't a lucky victory. Playing Man City at the top of the game after them beating Liverpool in a week 4-0. So a great performance, a really mature performance as well, and a performance where the team looked to threat. I really liked the four players that played up front today, the combinations they had, the pace, the movement. It was excellent, and it was a joy to watch as well. Yes, there was times where McCarthy had to make some great saves. There were some last-ditch tackles, but the discipline and the pride the players show to win a game like that, and for the manager, it shows the respect they've got in the manager as well. Because, like we said, the job's kind of done. Really, the club's safe. But no, it was a great victory, and it was actually a really, really good game to watch. And Man City played really, really well. They weren't below par. They created chances. They kept the ball well. They moved the ball quickly. They caused Southampton problems. So there was lots of stuff and lots of positives. And one thing I liked as well, there was times in the game where Southampton kept possession and had control of the ball and dictated the tempo of the game. So a really all-round good performance, good defending, good in possession, and a threat going forward. So yes, and a victory. So it must be one of his best performances.
Adam, what about you? One of Ralph's best?
Yeah, it has to be. I can't think of many better. I mean, there have been some big wins, obviously, when he first came in and he was picking up a few vital results to keep Saints in the league. Those were obviously huge wins as well. So guess how do you marry that up? But the thing is, when you beat any of the big teams, those are the marquee wins. I mean, we talked before the game about the Pochettino win against Man City. Pochettino won loads of games as Saints boss in a short period, in his short period of time in terms of his win ratio when you compare it to that of other Saints managers. And yet, what do you talk about? You talk about the times you beat Man City or you beat Liverpool, and those are the results that stick in people's minds more than you could arguably put in a better performance and win 3-0 against Watford or not, but that's not what people remember. They remember you playing the big teams, and if you can beat them, and especially, as Dean said, you beat them when they played well. I mean, Man City played pretty well. Yes, all right, one or two. Maybe they could have put out a slightly stronger lineup, and obviously they were hampered by the fact they played Thursday night. Again, a huge game for them against Liverpool, whereas Saints didn't have to play midweek, and so had fresher players. And I guess that played a small part. But nonetheless, the City team that went out there cost an absolute fortune, played really well. They were on the front foot. They weren't just like knocking the ball around, going through the motions. And Saints beat them. And I think that those kind of result in a performance like that, and on a big night as well. Like I said, like in front of a watching nation, if you like, because of most football fans would have been watching that game tonight, given it was on free-to-air TV. That's the kind of thing that lives a long time in people's memories. So it will be definitely chalked down as one of his finest, if not his finest.
One thing that will definitely live long in all of our memories, but I'm sure particularly Shea Adams' memory, was that cracking goal. We're going to shine a spotlight on Shea in just a moment, but we'll take a look at what's being said on socials once again, because as you can imagine, there's just so many comments to get through. Liam Saunders has got in touch and said, Stevens was absolutely sensational. Sign Kevin Walker-Peters now. Carl Walker-Peters now. Credit to both McCarthy and Adams too. Adrian Streets has said, well played Saints, their best game of the season. Lee Cox on YouTube has said, great win for the Saints. Ralph would be super proud right now. Adams and Stevens were amazing. David on Facebook has said, what a brilliant defensive performance. 10 out of 10 for every player, and oh, so happy for Adams, as are we all. David Sutton has said, Kyle is one to keep. McCarthy, awesome. Bednarek, awesome. I could go on and on. Superb. Jill Barnes has said, what an amazing team they are. Love them all. And a final one for now from Max here on YouTube. He says, please don't say it was just me that was jumping around the room screaming at the screen. I can confirm it definitely wasn't, because we were all doing the same here. We were all doing it, weren't we? And I'm sure it was very much the same scene across every household on this south coast and further afield as well. That Shea goal really was sensational. What a way to get off the mark. Saints fan or not, Dean, it's so hard not to be delighted for him.
Yeah, of course, and like you say, what a goal! And the best thing about it is his awareness. His awareness that the keeper would be off his line. I'm guessing they would have done some research. The manager or one of the coaches would have made them aware of that situation. That Edison likes to play as almost as a sweeper. But when you haven't scored a goal and you're looking for your first goal, and your confidence in terms of that is a little bit low, to take that on and score a goal like that, it just is full credit to Shea. And I thought he had a very good all-round performance today. He held the ball up well. He looked strong. He looked fit. But yeah, what a goal! And you could see the relief in his face when he scored. There was no massive smiles. You know, the players got round him and celebrated with him, so that it showed the spirit again. And it was more I think he got the frustration out because he's a good player. He's still young. I think he'll be a really good signing for the club. To get that first goal, I think will give him real confidence now. And it would be nice to see him play the remainder of the season now. When he scored a goal like that, he's full of confidence. I think he'll show a different side to him and probably take a little bit more responsibility in shots and opportunities, and he'll score a few more goals. So well done, Shane.
Yeah, we've said in previous shows that all Shea needs is a goal, and now he's got that. What's that going to mean for him going forward, Adam?
Well, I mean, it's obviously a huge burden lifted. I mean, that's first and foremost. If it's an old cliche, but strikers, they're not just judged on goals, but they kind of judge themselves by goals. Forget externally, internally. That's the internal pressure they put on themselves, and they feel themselves as players depends on them scoring goals. I'm sure when I think back to the beginning of the season, those games that Che Adams was playing and playing really well and getting a lot of plaudits and a lot of nice pats on the back from his teammates, from the fans, from us in the media at the time. I'm sure that would have been all very nice, but I'm sure for him in the back of his head, he would have felt it's not quite complete without a goal. And once you've got that, it's amazing how much your mentality changes. And I think that's the big thing for him now, is a kind of mentality change. And the proof today as well, as Dean alluded to earlier, that he can play alongside Ings. They could be a pair. It's not kind of an either or with a quick guy next to them. They kind of be a big physical pair. They've got a lot of assets together. And the goal itself as well. I mean, got no idea what Zinchenko's doing. He's just fallen asleep. But credit Stu Armstrong, because again, they played on the fact Zinchenko comes so central a lot of the time, very central for a left back, and he just was dwelling on the ball. And several times Saints caught him doing the same in exactly the same position. So it's obviously something they'd worked on. And as Dean said, they were well aware that Edison playing the way he does would be off his line. And what a great finish from Shea, as we said. And what's great is when you see that shot, sort of looking at the goal from behind, you can see the second he hits it, he knows. It's not like he's sort of waiting, is it? Like one of those, is it going to drop in? He knows the second he hits it. And what an amazing feeling that must have been for him, as it must have felt like it took 5 minutes for that ball to drop down into the net. But yeah, fantastic moment for him and for the club as well, because they've invested a lot in him. They chased him for a long time. Let's not forget that they got him in the summer, but they tried very hard to get him in the previous window. It'd been a long pursuit to get that deal over the line and get him in the club. They really believed in him. That's why they went back again to make sure they got him. And so a bit of vindication for people at the football club as well for kind of sticking with him and believing in him. And now, hopefully this is the launch pad for him to start scoring on a much more regular basis.
Well, that kind of leads me nicely onto my next question. You said hopefully that goal is the launch pad. Do you think his fortune will kind of change now? Will we see him score more regularly, Dean?
Definitely. I think that's what happens with strikers. It's his first goal for a club, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's his first Premier League goal as well. He's not played in the Premier League before, which will mean a lot to him, especially being a young striker. And like Adam said, he had a lot of plaudits from his colleagues, his players, from the fans. So he would have been happy with that and would have enjoyed that. But scoring goals, that's what strikers want to do. They want the plaudits for scoring goals. They want to feel that emotion of scoring goals. So now he's released that energy, it will just breed confidence. He'll take different types of shots on. He'll take more responsibility around the box to get a shot in. He'll get himself into stronger positions to score goals because he'll have that belief. And it was nice to see that, one of the biggest persons that was happiest for him was Danny Ings when they were celebrating. It meant a lot to both of them. And, they're strikers. They're in competition with each other. But like Adam said, I think they can form a partnership. So working alongside Danny Ings is going to create opportunities for himself and each other. So, yes, it will be a change of luck for him. He'll just have that little bit more belief in himself that he can score goals at this level. And that will be the difference.
Yeah, Adams will get a lot of plaudits from this game for that goal. But let's not forget the defence right across the back four. Great performances from Walker-Peters, from Bednarek, Jack Stevens seemingly clearing everything and putting his body on the line, and also Ryan Bertrand. An absolutely valiant display, wouldn't you agree, Dean?
Yes, the whole defence, the shape was fantastic. Played a very narrow shape, so encouraged Man City to go wide to cross the ball. Man City found it very difficult to get combinations centrally to try and slip that ball in for the strikers or the wide men coming narrow. But no, the amount of blocks, the amount of tackles, the amount of congratulating each other when they'd done them blocks was fantastic. And it just showed that, Adam touched on it, that is purely down to concentration. Concentrating when you're constantly under attack, when you're constantly having to defend is so difficult. And McCarthy in goal, after he's made his mistake against Arsenal, to come back with a performance like he did today, it's full credit to him. And it just shows what a quality goalkeeper he is. And the team, it was a real spirited team performance. And like Danny Ings was making tackles at the back, clearing headers. It was a whole team defensive display that earned them 3 points today.
Yeah, very impressive defensive display for sure. However, Steve, I'm not quite done with talking about Shea's goal because it was that good.
Right.
So we're going to carry on because we have actually gathered some goals from the archives scored from a similar different distance as Shea's goals. We're going to ask both Dean and Adam to talk us through these ones. Adam, we'll start with you. If you can you talk us through your memories of this Wanyama goal against Hull?
Well, I mean, if Che Adams kind of had one of these in waiting, I don't think anybody probably thought Victor Wanyama had one of these in waiting, to be honest. But it was really early in the game, as I seem to recall, and it's Jakupovic, I think, in goal. And he's just, he makes an absolute hash of the clearance, falls to Wanyama, and it's about 35 odd yards. First time right-footed. It's a relatively similar finish, to be honest with you. But yeah, that was obviously a direct mistake from the goalkeeper, and a sort of just a first-time finish as opposed to a player being dispossessed and then the sort of chip going in. But yeah, quite a similar goal. But that's about where the comparison between Victor Wanyama and Che Adams ends, I think.
And we've picked out another one from back in 2010, which was Ricky Lambert's effort against MK Dons. A bit of a different goal here. He hits it on the bounce, but Dean, do you remember this one, and what do you reckon in comparison to Shea's tonight?
Oh, it's difficult to say. I do remember it, but Ricky had this in the locker all the time. He would try chips in training, not quite like this, but he's so strong. From the goalkeeper clearing the ball, I think it's from a goal kick. His control, his first touch to the bounce, to have an awareness to hit the ball from, I don't know, it must be 40 yards. To score a goal like that was, some goal, and you can see from the celebrations at the end. But Ricky really did have that quality. He had the all-round game, his first touch to get the ball where he needed to the awareness to see the goalkeepers off his line, to executing it was fantastic. But what a strike, and one of many goals that Ricky scored. He scored some spectacular goals for the club. So it was I think it was a 3-1 victory that day, I think, against MK Dons. So yeah, it's a fantastic goal.
Well, I'm certain we'll be pulling that Shay Adams goal out of the archives for many years to come, I'm sure. And lots more of you sending us in your thoughts on not only that goal, but the whole team performance. Andrew said on Facebook, how proud can you be of your team? Love this team. Great spirit, great skill, fantastic concentration until the last second. Just brilliant. Happy in North Suffolk. Lynn said 3 points for my 60th birthday. What a present. Happy birthday to you, Lynn. What a day. Lee Knight has said great defending, and what a goal to come off your duck. Well played, Shay. Ian Martin on Facebook has said what a performance, total commitment. Just very similar comments coming through, lots of happy people. Davey O'Brien has said every Saints player was superhuman today, so proud, onwards and upwards, come on you Saints. Eve has said what a fantastic game, you did us proud Saints, they certainly did. And Cole has said not seen anything like that since Elland Road 2011. Just utterly brilliant. It really, really was. And someone else who was utterly brilliant was Alex McCarthy. Certainly impressed, as did all of the team. He more than made up for that error against Arsenal, I think it's fair to say, Adam.
Well, I mean, yeah, the funny thing was, I thought the first 2 or 3 saves he made, you kind of think, they were fairly... They looked spectacular, but when you watch them again, they're fairly routine, like the David Silva headers, kind of straight at him. But then the more the game went on, the more and more he seemed to be stretched, and the more he was tested and had to make a whole manner of different types of saves as well. I mean, a lot of them reaction, but sort of there was kind of a couple where he had to get down low, a couple where he had to close down, a couple where he had to save with his legs. I mean, there was all sorts going on. I mean, interesting comparison from whoever said it there to Ellen Road 2011, which I think is the famous Kelvin Davis under siege game, where he spent basically 80 of the 90 minutes making saves. It felt like, anyway. I'm sure it wasn't quite that dramatic, but it felt that way. From Alex's point of view, I mean, the manager's backed him after the mistake. He's kept picking him. Even if at this point of the season and with 3 frontline goalkeepers at the club, there must be a temptation to have a little look again at least one, or if not both of the other 2 going into next season. Ralph was stuck by Alex, which sort of speaks volumes, because it suggests that that's his man going forward as well. He's kind of made his decision on that front. And with a performance like that, I mean, what can you say? We said how sorry we felt for him, really, when he made that mistake against Arsenal. So, you've got to... That's the life of a goalkeeper, isn't it? One day, one mistake, dwell on the ball once, and you're the villain of the piece, and the next day you're the hero. And that's kind of the life of a goalkeeper, I guess. And I think Alex is old enough, mature enough, and experienced enough that he's kind of level-headed. So he wouldn't have got 2 down, I don't think, after Arsenal. And I don't think he'll be, popping the champagne corks this evening either after a great performance. But I'm sure he's feeling a lot happier this evening, that's for sure.
He might not be, but we will be, won't we, Steve?
Yeah, that's it, the bubbly's getting...
I don't even drink, but I might pop a bit of champagne, who knows?
And sticking with the players that did help to keep a clean sheet tonight, I wanted to highlight one in particular, which is Kyle Walker-Peters. Now, Ralph has said he hasn't made his mind up yet whether he's going to turn that loan deal into a permanent one. Looking at his performance, what did you make of it, and would you want to keep him at the club, Dean?
Yeah, I mean, his performance the last 2 games have been very mature. He's we all know that he's an attacking fullback. He's got pace. He's got quality going forward. The modern day fullback is almost like a winger. But his defensive understanding, his defensive positioning today was very, very good. He seemed to use his body very well when he was defending to get into certain positions. So he's performed very well again. And it was highlighted today. I think he ran Jack Stevens close to man of the match. He's a young man. He's learning his game, so there's a lot of improvement in him. So it'd be a good signing for the football club. And he seems to obviously like working with the manager. The manager likes working with him, and he's he's one of those players now that's probably proved his worth. Whether Southampton can sign him, whether they will sign him, I'm not sure. But I think it will be a very good signing, and someone has proved his worth in the last 2 games. So well done to him.
Yeah, fans certainly echoing those thoughts as well on social media. Lots of people impressed by his performance tonight. Just so much love flooding in on socials, as we did anticipate. So we're going to try and get as many of these comments in as we can, because it's great to hear from you, the fans. Cliff has said, I cannot stop smiling for the lads. Just brilliant. Very much the same here, Cliff. Andrew said, given our home form, that was a sensational performance. We were immense. Philip said, brilliant end to the weekend. Can wake up with a smile on Monday morning. That's a lovely way to look at it. Henning said, best performance I've seen from us in years. Rode our luck at times, but we could have scored a few more ourselves, and the defensive organisation and commitment was absolutely brilliant. Dan Reed on Facebook has said, fantastic team, fantastic manager, fantastic performance. What a result. Come on you Reds. Couldn't agree more, Dan. Tony said on YouTube, Danny will be a great influence on Shea. Yeah, we spoke earlier about that partnership. Certainly exciting to see how that develops. Jackie on Facebook said, great start to the school holidays in New Zealand, was well worth this 6 a.m. alarm. Good morning to you, and thank you for joining us so early. Catherine Dilworth on Facebook has said, nearly had a heart attack in the last 5 minutes, but great game. Well done, Saints, and what a goal. So glad you didn't. Stay with us. And Chad on Facebook has said, Ralph has now built a great team. Together as one, working their socks off for the shirt. Congrats to Shay Adams. So some very, very happy fans.
A lot of happy fans there, right? We've not got long to go, but I think we've got time to have a look at the league table to see where that 3 points leaves us now, which I think is 13th. There we go, in the Premier League on 43 points with 5 games to go.
5?
Yeah, 5 games to go. So yes, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Again, thank you to Dean and Adam for their insight and analysis as well this evening. We're going to be back on Thursday as we take on Everton away. So until then, have a great week, and we'll see you then.